Hello, everyone. Welcome to our fabulous Powertime practice here on Pillai Center Practice YouTube. So we have been coming together on Zoom for the past several years. And before that, we were on teleconference before we could get onto video conferencing. So welcoming all of you and wishing you all the best during these uncertain times. And we're going to continue on here to support you, bring you the latest and greatest teachings of Dr. Pillai. And we'll go through a bit of an introduction on what is going to be happening this week so that we can dive into the energies and get the assistance from these divine archetypes who are hiding behind, or they are the power behind time. So the days go by, the hours go by, the days go by, and they get ruled by certain archetypal beings. So today is Saturday, and Saturn rules Saturday. So the energy of Lord Saturn is with us. And we will be sharing more about that as we roll out. It's just an example of how every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year has something new to offer us. And that's why when we're on the spiritual path, sometimes we have ups and downs, just like we do in life. And even though we're chanting mantras, or we are in meditation practices, or we are doing remedies, rituals, we're getting readings, we're trying to really figure out how to navigate the spiritual world. Well, we, just like in our world, we have to prepare ourselves. We have to bring our consciousness to a level that's very balanced, emotionally, spiritually, physically. We have to be healthy. And we use the mind to transcend the mind. Without it, we wouldn't be able to experience it. We would just kind of blink and miss it. So perhaps we've done that lifetime after lifetime, and that's a gnawing memory that says, hey, we should just chant mantras and then it's done. Well, this is a different lifetime, and we've got some karmas that we want to work out to challenge us a little bit. So karma is all about mindset, and we can change our mindset, just like when we are traveling and we have a destination. We're going from point A to point B. And in between, there could be a traffic jam. And we're saying, oh my goodness, we'll have to just sit in this. No. There is a way out. So our mindset can be, okay, sit in the traffic, be with everyone who is miserable, and participate in that and waste your time, your energy, and probably money. If you're on your way to work, you won't be able to get paid for those hours, or it just could set you back in some way, meaning that you're just not in a good mood that day. And so productivity is going to go way down. So we can find a way out if we change our mindset. And then the divine beings, who are all part of our consciousness, we just have to wake that up inside of us. We have to become aware of what we're not conscious about. So there's a collective unconscious. And that collective unconscious is all about these images, these beings, these characteristics or qualities that we can actually align with and feel like that's part of us. So we can create this superhero or superheroine inside of us. We can be superstars, super intelligent beings. And we are doing that. This is the golden age. We're coming out of the Kali Yuga, the dark, ignorant age where you don't even think about spirituality. And it hasn't been that way. And perhaps it won't be that way for some time for a lot of people. However, here you are, you're studying with Dr. Pillai, and it has been a mystical, magical journey for me. My name is Sucharita, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm wishing you such a warm welcome as we launch our YouTube channel. And we are going to be changing our channel, so we're going to jump into a new timeline. So timeline jumping is about changing our destiny. We're going to change the way we look at things. We're going to change the way we perceive our life, and we're going to change the way we serve humanity. And if you want to be a part of that journey, continue on, then you're so welcome. So please pop on the chat. Hello, where are you from? And if you have any prayers or intentions that you'd like to set during this time that we're together, Dr. Pillai's grace and blessings is always with us, are always with us. And we're here to help you to navigate the week ahead. So the week ahead is all about bringing in the energy of wealth consciousness in a way that we are going to be supported by powerful moons such as 11th and 12th moons. And these moons are based on the energy of the waxing cycle. So the moon waxes and wanes every month for about 15 days each. Part of that cycle. So we're in the waxing cycle, meaning we've gone from the new moon to the full moon. We're going towards the full moon. And so why is that important for us? Well, the moon aligns with our mind. Our mind is naturally looking towards the moon to fulfill our desires. So our desires come and go, just like the waning and waxing of the moon, almost like a day and a half. It just keeps going so fast. The moon goes by. So 11th and 12th moons are all about pumping in intelligence or consciousness that will wake up inside of us ideas about how to create prosperity. So that's natural for us. That's like, if you are saying, oh my God, it's so terrible. People have lost their jobs. Look at the economy. It's super crazy all around the world. I don't know what's going to happen. You can go into that state of consciousness on the 11th and 12th moons and completely miss. You can miss out on the opportunity to connect with the overlord, which is Venus, on the 12th moon, and then the 11th moon is Lord Vishnu. So these powerful beings want us to have all the comforts. They want us to have money miracle consciousness because they're money planets. So we need money to do whatever it is that we need to do. We need food, clothing, shelter, medicine. We need good drinking water. We need to go to work. So we need the money for transportation, maybe for a car, for gas, for insurance. You need some place to live. So you need to pay your rent, your mortgage, and so on. And it's been tough during this pandemic with coronavirus. However, if you've been jumping on the calls with Shreem Razi daily, you will see and experience that we can transcend all that fear, anxiety, poverty consciousness, scarcity consciousness. We're moving through it. We're breaking through it for sure, but we're touching it lightly. So that's what happens when we prepare ourselves to be on the spiritual path and be in life. We don't take them as a separate entity. So your spiritual life is in your little puja room or wherever you do your spiritual practices regularly, or going to a temple, or a church or a mosque. You can't do that anymore. We can't meet in public places. So it's almost a blessing in disguise that we are in isolation and we are in lockdown for the most part in pretty much everywhere around the world. There is some sort of regulation that's going on. We have to at least keep a social distance. And that prevents us from interacting and wasting our time and energy. So what we'll find is this is a perfect time for us to connect with the divine beings. So 11th and 12th moons are going to be pumping in energy that is going to align you with abundance consciousness, heaven on earth, because Lord Vishnu is the God who loves to party, as Dr. Pillai shares. He wants everyone to have a good time. And then he also helps us to connect with our ancestors so we can pray for them and they can go to the heavenly realms. So he also helps those ancestors who are struggling. If we are doing our Tarpanam practice, which is the feeding of the ancestors, offering them what they need, just like we need things here on the earth plane. So this is just the way of the world. We cannot avoid it. So being on this path with Dr. Pillai, he teaches us, be prosperous in your thinking. be positive, be optimistic. And how can we, when all the stuff is going on in our lives? But what will happen is, if we're radiating that energy out, we'll start to see the miracles happen, where even the grumpiest person in our family or in our community, or we're just moving out and about, getting groceries and doing the essential things that we need to do to continue to feed ourselves and get back and forth, go back and forth to work, if you are able to do that. So we want to do that in a very intelligent way, in a safe way. And when we bump up against those people, perhaps, who were really scared and really frustrated or angry, and we're resonating with Shrimbrzi consciousness, wealth consciousness, the consort of Shrimbrzi is Vishnu. So he's all about abundance as well. And so when we're doing this dance on the 11th and 12th moons, Venus's overlord is the goddess Shrimbrzi. So this is so powerful to use the mantras to protect our minds, to build that consciousness inside of us. So we'll start the week out with prosperity consciousness. And we'll be thinking about that all the time. How am I going to improve myself? What kind of businesses can I do online? What kind of multiple streams of income can I think about? Can I create in my life? Even if I have no skills, you can just go on the internet and find out if there's something that interests you. Then you will just be able to find out Shrim and Brzi those sounds will guide you. And instantaneously you will be there. So we don't want to wait and plan and work it all out and pros and cons. We're going to do that anyways. We're going to make the efforts, but we need the answers right away. We don't need to do a lot of research, and that's what happens. So the mantras don't just bring us prosperity consciousness and then the money falls out of the sky. Although it can seem that way when really great opportunities fall on your lap and you go, oh, wow, this is awesome. So that's the start of the week. And then after that, we have the 13th waxing moon, and that is a doorway to dump karma. So not only are we going to do it this weekend, because Saturday and Sunday, these days are all about getting rid of karma, bringing in intelligence. And we'll talk about that as we get into our meditation, because we really want to set that up so it's really fresh right before we get in. So the 13th moon is all about bringing in the consciousness to get rid of afflictions. So dosha means afflictions. Dosham is like afflictions in Tamil. And then pra comes from the word protection. So pra dosham means to protect yourself. Who's going to protect you? You have to align with these divine beings, and then they will come and protect you. So Lord Shiva is the one who will protect us from all the karmas that are coming towards us. So if you have a Shiva Lingam, you can pour water, milk, or juice on it on that day. It can be around sunset time, so about 90 minutes around that time. Depending on where you are in the world, those timings are going to be varied. So you can look on Astroved, get the Hora Watch, the app that will tell you all these things, or you can go on to the website and then go on to the Panchang on the landing page. And then you can see, it is an 8th waxing moon today. It's going to be wrapping up pretty soon and going into a 9th waxing moon, and then in a 10th waxing moon the day after, and so on. So you will know when the moon is, what the moon is doing, what the phase of the moon is, and then it will give you to-dos and don't-dos. So it will give you clues on how to navigate these celestial beings so that they become part of your consciousness as you are navigating time, meaning by the hour, by the day, by the week, by the month, by the year. So we also have a 14th moon, and it's on the waxing cycle again this week. And the 14th moon is called Shivaratri, which means it's a time period for Shiva to do his dance. And it happens a couple times a month. And then during about 6 times a year, there's a big Shivaratri. And then the Maha one is once a year. So these are periods of time where you can race a lot of karma. You can create, you get a lot of creative energy as well. And then you have this ability to manifest and then maintain your creation. So it's happening all at once. It's not happening like step by step. It's all being done for you, because it's the picture of the dancing Shiva, where it's happening, where the fire, he's dancing in this circle of fire, or this ring of fire. And so the fire is burning away any negativity. He's dancing, he's sustaining himself. He's got this great pose going on. And then he's helping you to create, because he has the drum, and that's the sound, or the representation of the sounds of the universe, the sound of Om, which creates. And it's the beginning of time. So this 14th waxing moon is also associated with his son, Ganesha. Ganesha is an elephant-headed being. He has a pot belly and he rides a mouse. And he's the ruler of the lower chakras, the Muladhara, and the sixth center, a little bit up from there. And then also the third eye. He's the guardian at the portal that opens up the third eye, so that we can access these divine beings in the space. So Ganesha will help to fire up the Kundalini energy, the goddess energy inside of us, that gets rid of anything that is no longer serving us, congested negative energies, memories we cannot shake, terrible relationship issues. This will, all the bickering and fighting will stop. So those are the kinds of obstacles that really suck the life out of us. And then of course, our finances going up and down. He's the god of success. So we got to honor these divine archetypes, as Dr. Pillai shares. It doesn't matter what culture or religion you're from. These are from the realm that once we tap into it, then we can access them. And we don't have to wait till we die and then have no body left, no physical body. And then we're in the spiritual realm and we're just like groping, like, who are these people? Who are the, where am I? So they will help to guide us now to prepare ourselves, to prepare our bodies, our minds, our souls to align with the cosmos, and then to evolve and be enlightened. Because with enlightenment, we have a healthy body, we have a healthy mind, we have a healthy soul, we have a healthy outlook on life. So whatever has happened to us to date, we'll just say that, well, that's all that's happened. So it's not who I am right now. And then when you let go of that, what happens is that energetic connection to those situations, to those people in your lives, the energetic disconnection or dysfunctional connection gets diffused. It just goes away. So those are the obstacles. They can be physical obstacles for sure. Like if you're working on a project and you just can't have a breakthrough. Like we've heard from people here where they say, my goodness, I enrolled in the year-long Tarpanam program because I heard you talking about it in this Powertime practice, these practice weekly calls. And they said that they delayed a little bit and they were struggling for 2 years in their job where they couldn't get a breakthrough in the knowledge that they needed, in the technology and in the project moving forward. They couldn't understand one another on their team. There was such miscommunication. And then the moment this person enrolled, within a very short period of time, I think it was a matter of like days or even a couple of weeks, it was very short period of time, that everything just turned around. Everything started to open up. Everything became clear for them, and success was in sight, not just down the road. It was in every interaction. And that makes the difference in our lives. So Dr. Pillai is asking us to enlighten our lives, enlighten your life, enlighten your load, because the karma is a mindset. We're set on being limited. We're set in this box. Even in this body, we're kind of like set inside this physical form. Who's inside this physical form? Is it our mind? Is it our emotions? Is it our intellect? Is it our soul? It's a combination of all of that and more. So we're here to discover all that. So this week ahead is all about diffusing scarcity consciousness, poverty consciousness, building prosperity consciousness, having the support all around you. The structure is there. You're walking down the golden path to the golden age. It already is here. We've just got to keep walking on it and don't get stuck in the dark ages, the ignorant times that we did live in. And we just keep ratcheting those thoughts. And that's where the mindset has to just be blown up. In some cases, we just have to shake ourselves out of it, because that's the only way that we will decide to move. And sometimes when people lose their jobs, or they get into a financial crisis, or their relationships are so debilitating, they finally just say, I'm done. I need a fresh, clean slate. So it will also give you the courage this week to do those kinds of things that you haven't been able to do, because we're coming into a full moon. And right around that full moon is going to be Lord Muruga's birthday. And Lord Muruga is Shiva's son, and he's also Ganesha's brother. And he represents the ability to access all the chakras. He's the god of the third eye. He will enliven the 6 parts of our brain. So the front of the brain, the sides, the top halves, and then the back of the brain and the inside of the brain, the midbrain, the third eye. So we have an image here because we're going to honor him by doing a really powerful meditation practice that some of you may know, but every practice is going to be new. So this is a form of Lord Muruga, and his name is Shanmukha. Shan means 6, Mukha means faces. So if I just do a little bit of a turn here, you can see all the different heads there, the faces. So those represent the 6 parts of the brain. And he's carrying a lance or a spear in his hand closest to me. And that spear is very divine. It has the Shakti, or the power or energy of his mom, the goddess Parvati. And without her Shakti, without her grace, without the Kundalini energy, it would have no ability to fight dark forces such as enemies, diseases, deaths, litigation. And then you can see he's got the flag there, and that's the victory flag. And then you'll always see him with or most of the times you see him with a peacock, which is there behind him. And then you'll also see him, the flag has a rooster on it, an image of a rooster. And so the peacock and the rooster were parts of this really forceful demon that was really destroying the world. It was causing havoc. And so Lord Muruga was born out of the third eye of Lord Shiva. And he was raised by the Kritikas, and then they were the mothers, and they raised him to be this warrior. And then he came to the earth plane, and he said, okay, I'm going to fight this Asura, because of demon-like qualities. So fear, anger, frustration, depression. Because when your energy and power is low, you're really depressed. Your energy is low. So you're just like, oh, nothing's working for me. I'm so tired. I can't do things. So that's what he does, is he raises the energy in your chakras from the bottom of your spine all the way up. He rocks them so they start to create this energy coming up, and it culminates in the middle of your brain, the third eye. And when that happens, it's like a pressure cooker. It pops open, and it's like a golden chalice where the divine beings can come in from higher realms and be captured inside of you. So we use this body-mind complex to enliven our soul. Because what's the soul? The soul is this energy inside of us, this Kundalini energy. It rocks the chakras. They radiate out into all directions, into multi dimensions beyond the third dimension. And we've experienced it during our daily Shrimbrazi chanting, which is coming to a close. So again, I'm going to invite you. It's free. And if one of our fabulous friends is here from Pillai Center, or anyone who has been coming to Powertime practice and the Shrimbrazi chanting, please post that information for people to come and join. So we'll be having our last 2 evenings together, tonight and tomorrow night. And we've been going since April 5th. And we'll be on our 56th day together, and 57th day tomorrow, which will be the final one. And some people have completed 30-day challenges. They've been writing to me and telling me about that, and they were so excited. They'll be able to get in a 48-day challenge. So we have that to celebrate. And then there are people who just joined and they said, oh my God, it's ending already. The beauty of technology now is that you can just go back and you can listen to or review, watch the recordings of the YouTubes, and then dive into that energy that's eternal. It's like opening up the door to eternity. And then all the beings are coming in and supporting the practice, which we feel in every time we do a meditation. And some of us think that we have the world's worst meditations, including me, because the thoughts keep bombarding us. The thoughts are coming from within us, coming from our genes or our soul genetics. We share the souls of our ancestors. It's so, so important to honor the ancestors, because we can chant mantras, we can do meditations, we can do remedies, rituals, we can go on pilgrimages, we can sit at the feet of the master, we can sit at the feet of many masters, we can commune with one another, we can satsang with one another, we can have spiritual discourses with one another. Until we get the blessings from our ancestors, that is not going to manifest as fast as we want. So the ancestors are so important, and it makes sense because they share our genes. So please consider, just like the other person shared about how they participated in the Tarpanam services, not even knowing who all their ancestors are. You don't need to. You don't even need to know last names. If you know some first names, that's cool. If you know both, that's fine too. But you're going at the level of the soul. So everything here on the earth plane, as Dr. Pillai shares, and all the masters do, and all the scriptures do, it's an illusion. So even though it's an illusion, like Einstein said, it's a persistent illusion. So it's real. It's relative to this reality here that we're experiencing lifetime after lifetime, dressed up as this person or this persona, but at the level of the soul, we just are trying to scrub up those dark spots on the soul, trying to shine up like coal would turn into a diamond. And then, so we're all kind of like diamonds in the rough. We don't even know that from head to toe, we are diamonds. We are these gems. We are these spiritual beings that can pick up frequencies, like crystals can pick up frequencies from the divine. So we want to know what the timings are that lie ahead. Every week, every month, the sun is transiting a new sign, meaning that the earth and us here, everybody here on the earth plane, we're aligned with this cosmic transit that's happening. So right now, the sun, which represents our soul, so we're solar beings. So the soul is this light, this intelligence inside of us. And it starts out being pretty small because we're ignoring it for like a long time. And then we're groping in the dark, we're doing all these things, and we don't really know what's happening until you come across a great teacher who just says, hey, This is what's happening inside of you. Own that kingdom within, just like Christ said, just like all the masters do, all the teachings do. The body needs to turn into light, meaning it needs to get enlightened. And it's a process. If you get enlightened all at once, it would be like getting hit by a lightning bolt. And then the lightning bolt is either going to kill you or you're going to turn into a shaman. That's the saying. So a shaman is like an enlightened priest who is a healer traditionally. So we want to be that physician, that divine physician, that divine healer. Physician means you're paying attention to your physique, your physical being. So that when we align with these cosmic energies, when the sun is transiting into the various signs in the cosmos, because you can look up in the sky and you can say, oh, sun now is transiting Taurus, and there's a star constellation that looks like a bowl, and so on. Last month it was Aries, the ram. The month before that it was Pisces, the fish. So this isn't just some like hieroglyphics, made up symbols. It's in the cosmos. And these divine beings, the rishis, the saints, the seers of ancient times, they looked up and they started, whoa, look at that shape. Who is that? And then internally, they connected really deep inside of their souls and inside of their being with these images. And then these images started to speak to them. And then they said, this is how you talk to me. So they give them a mantra, they give them rituals to do, they give them ways to connect with them. Because they didn't have internet back then. They didn't have information like we do, overload. They didn't have Encyclopedia Britannica or Wikipedia. They didn't have all that. They just were like, hey, nature, we need to feel like we're connected to something bigger than us, because we've got floods, we've got famine, we've got earthquakes, we've got all these calamities going on, and we've got droughts. People are dying as we're kind of scrambling and evolving. So in ancient times, the seers were the ones who were really in alignment with the cosmos. And then they knew that they just looked like these strange things in the sky with multiple heads and so on. But they just said, I don't care, because what I'm feeling inside is there's some hope for us. And not only just hope, there's a message, there's a to-do. So you can do it at home, do it yourself, or you can participate in these yajnas. So they started to do these fire rituals, and they started to do these offerings to the beings. They started to realize that they could see the spirits of the ancestors when they lopped off the body, when it died, the physical body died. They saw these spirits and they said, where are you going? What's up with you? So they said, I'm wandering. All I know is the earth, and all I know is those people, that gene pool that I came from. And then the people here, they couldn't see because they didn't have the spiritual eye open. Then they started thinking, wow, what is all around me? So some of us still feel that way. We feel like there's a presence, there's something there, and it's pushing us. It's not allowing us to break free and shine like the shiny beings that we are. And once we do that, we can see all around. So the enlightenment process is not something that is only for the elite. It's for everyone. It's our birthright. So when we're chanting Shri Brzi or any mantra, right now it's Shri Brzi, because that's what Dr. Pillai has shared, that he got the message from the Siddhas, the Tamil Siddha tradition that he hails from, in order for us to evolve through this. Because we can't jump over it. We have to evolve through it, but we can go in an easy way. We don't have to get stuck in a traffic jam. We can find a way out that's much more fulfilling and also kind of adventurous, because no one else is doing it, or very few people know about it. So we will navigate our lives with more adventure, more energy. We'll be like having the wonder of children. Like, how did we get here? How come I'm feeling so great? And that's what we hear too with the chanting. When we come together as a global community, there are people from all around the world, just like we are here now. And we're all tapping in to this just a small, like a little slit, and we can sneak through it and pull out the consciousness that we need for now. Because if we had it like full on bright, we would just be burnt to a crisp. So we have to get to that level where we're cooking ourselves, we are scrubbing the diamond, that's shining it up. And that takes a little bit of elbow grease, right? It takes a little bit of polishing and maturing as well. So even though we're doing remedies, even though we are spiritual, what happens is we can even get into that kind of thing where we're arrogant or we are angry because somebody else isn't in our life and don't they understand? And so we're getting into judgment and all those yucky things that we think, oh my God, I'm spiritual and I'm like that. Yikes. So we can really get the blessings of the divine to help us to navigate those blind spots. So we're driving along, and then if you just kind of take a right or a left and you don't check the blind spot, if you don't turn to do that check, you can be coming on to someone. Even with technology where you have all the beeping going on in cars and everything, that can get screwed up very easily. So we can't always rely on technology to help us to navigate, but we can rely on spiritual technology because we feel it, we see it. We're going to see it when we do our ghee lamp today, our ghee lamp meditation. We've been implementing it since the beginning, and we are beginning of Shri Brazi chanting, and we are also going to be doing it here. We have been for a while. So if you want to stay for that after the meditation, we'll do a meditation setup. And then we will, because we are going to be honoring or thinking about Lord Muruga, the full moon is all about abundance. It's to bring in prosperity consciousness again. Shri Brazi is the goddess of abundance. Varahi is the goddess of 2020. And she is the Shri Brazi of the golden age. So she is going to help us to root out scarcity consciousness. Just like when we're in our garden, and I have a lawn that is in the backyard. It's full of dandelions. And dandelions are beautiful to look at because they're very yellow and everything. We back on to a schoolyard. So because of COVID, it's not been an essential thing to do to cut down the big dandelion patch there, which is a few acres of field with dandelions. So all the spores have jumped over the fence. The wind has blown them. And they are having a happy time in the backyard. So it's not possible to get out there and keep digging them up every day. So the front yard, it's getting the more attention. But you've got to dig out those weeds. Otherwise, you just pop the top off. You just go to a superficial level. And they're going to pop up the next day. And it actually rained after we cut the lawn. And it rained and pop, they went up in less than a day. It was just like those weeds, like our negative thoughts, just pop up so quickly, so naturally. And they're like, hello, here I am. It's not like they're green and kind of blend with the grass. They are, I'm here. Hi. Now, some people say, hey, dandelions are good for you. They're good for your liver and detox and so on. And if you're in a neighborhood where everyone has these perfectly manicured lawns, and they will come by and actually say, hey, do you need help with finding a good person to do your garden, your weeds and all this? Yeah, they're pretty straightforward like that. And I'm always like, oh, well, it's a battle. And so now they see me out there and they'll say, so who's winning the battle? So that's what it is. We have to just kind of laugh at the battle that we struggle with and trying to root out those weeds. So Vrahi, she's got this snout like a boar. It is a boar's head. She's beautiful. If you see the pictures of her, and we've been to the temples in India where I was like, okay, a boar head goddess. That's kind of interesting. And then you go into the temple and she's just radiating this beauty. Yeah, sure, she has the snout, and she has the tusks. But then you stand in front of her and everything disappears. She just pulls you into her and you can almost feel her image. You are interfacing with it. And then you become her. And it's like, whoa, this is really cool. And then the energy of that interface of the image into you, or that communion with that energy, the spiritual transmission that envelopes you, it just overtakes you. And she just pulls you in and starts rooting out the scarcity consciousness, poverty consciousness. And you can think, well, I make a pretty decent living. I live in a pretty decent space. I'm doing pretty good. She just roots all that out, because what happens when coronavirus comes round 2, or when something happens where there is a natural calamity, or a war goes on, or whatever? You will be at the mercy of that situation unless you can find a way out. So our consciousness, as Dr. Pillai shares, and all the masters do, all the scriptures do, everything that you read is all about consciousness. And it's all about how you think, so you become. It's not a philosophy. It's where we put our attentional energy. And we've heard it. Whether people are joining these calls for the first time, or they're joining from time to time, or they come and go, they fill themselves up with spiritual knowledge, which is wisdom. It's not for the intellect. It's not for just understanding, oh, that's kind of a cool story, or that's a cool image. It's that they feel some movement inside of them. So as it is within us, we begin to own that kingdom, or own that queendom. We begin to radiate out this energy that gives us the guidance. It's a light. And it says, don't go there. That's a dark alley situation. And we will find a way out, or the divine will actually find a way out and help us to avoid it. So it's not like we have to be scared and be like that. It's like, oh, wow, I can see that would have been like a nightmare, as it has been in my past, because that was my mindset before, which was, drama queen are us, or drama king are us. So we're all drama queens and kings, or princesses and princes. We are that, because there's some natural tendency to want to be weedy in our lives. And we just need to get that rooted out. So Varahi, goddess of 2020, Shri Brazi, goddess Lakshmi, she is not going to do that. And so she wants us to find a way out, and she will show us if we are honoring her. And how do we honor her? There's lots of different remedies. And there's the Varahi course that's, they're just wrapping up with the live calls. I think the last one is this weekend, but it's a self-study. So you will have those live calls as recordings. So there will be teachers, including myself as one of the teachers, that we were sharing information about the goddess Varahi, and then helping people to navigate the course. So you'll have access to all that. And it'll be a self-study, and you can get to know this goddess. So please check that out if you haven't already enrolled in that program. You can do it as a self-study. And why I'm saying that is because if we know that she's the goddess of 2020, 2020 is not just another year. It is the start of a new decade. So if we know she will root out the weeds of our 2020 foundation, and we continue to call on her to root out all that stuff, what will happen is we'll compress time. So what could happen in the decade, 10 years from now, can be drawn to us, all good things, because we will have gotten rid of all the negative stuff. It's all out of the way. So it's smooth sailing. It's like we found a way out of the traffic jam, so we can go much faster. So that's how we speed up the karma. Karma is thinking. So we still think that we want to go in this direction from point A to point B. And how we get there is either going to be a challenge, meaning we're going to be stuck in a mindset, or we are going to call on these divine beings to help us to find a way out. And they are going to show the light that will be inside of us, such that we will just know, oh, okay, this is what I have to do now. This is exactly what I need to do now. And you won't even be thinking it. You will just be doing it after a while, where you say, wow, I didn't even think that thought, but it was the perfect thought. And I was going to think that thought. So we're kind of like, whoa, who is really thinking for me? And then you will know, oh my God. So just as God is doing everything, and everything is happening because of God, and that's what all the religions teach us, that there's a higher power. Everything is happening for a reason. Even the worst situations like coronavirus, pandemic, shutdown, never has that happened with so many people on the earth plane as well. Like, that could be pretty darn crazy. But something is helping us to do it. And perhaps it is the divine inside of everyone that says, hey, you need to unplug. You need to get away from all the wasted time and energy. And so many people have shared with me, honestly, they say, oh my God, we waste so much time at our workplace, at our office when we go in. Oh, we have coffee, we chat around the water cooler, we gossip, we go for lunch, we take long lunches. And how much time do you really spend at work? Well, now that I'm working from home, 2 hours. So they get paid for 8 hours, work for 2, really. So what's happening? We are just wasting, we're learning to, or we're being trained to, or there is conditioning, maybe, perhaps, or shaping of our lives as a socially evolving beings from academics. Like the kids are even saying that too. I'm online. And at first it was really horrible, but then they realized, oh my God, I can get my homework done and I can do all my other fun stuff. So, and it's way more time. So I always say to the kids, how long does it take you? Oh, 1.5, 2 hours. And I'm like, do you see the waste of time and the energy? I don't say that to them. I just go, oh, okay. But it is, if we are spending so much time, going from meeting to meeting to meeting, planning the next meeting, and not really too much goes on. But if you are really focusing and you're getting a lot of preparation done, then your meetings are going to be very fruitful. Everybody's prepared because you're kind of bored at home. You want to have more focus on your work, get it done, and then do your projects that you haven't been able to do. So that's how the divine wants us to look at all these situations in our lives and help us to navigate our life from internally, and how we are feeling inside, what the images sometimes when we're in a deep state. And it doesn't even mean that we're doing a meditation or a mantra practice. We can just be sitting and contemplating. Okay, I wonder what I'm going to do now. And all of a sudden we just go somewhere. We don't know where we really went. And then we have this image or this vision that or this insight, or we're so quiet that we begin to hear the birds chirping, or where our eye catches some animal, and then we are inspired to look it up and say, what was that animal totem? You can Google it, and then you can find out, oh, wow, this is a great message for me, which is what a lot of people do. And that's why all these gods, they have these spirit guides with them. They call them vahanas, or vehicle is the loose translation. So it's a divine vehicle, or that the divine beings are associated with, and they have supernatural powers. So in this case of Lord Muruga, his birthday, and the peacock represents Om. So when we are in Om, what happens? We're omniscient, we're omnipotent, and omnipresent. We're really alert. We're right there in the moment, and everything is happening so beautifully. And that's what we call miracles. So we don't have to study all this with Dr. Pillai. We just have to show up like everyone is showing up here. We're showing up for some divine descent into us as we ascend and meet it. And where is it going to be met? In our brain, because the brain tells the rest of the body, the rest of the nervous system, and then the nervous system fires up all our muscles, and the muscles move the bones, and the guts and everything else are going on, and there's an autonomic nervous system that automatically the circulation is happening, the heart is pumping. Do we think about all that? No. Who's doing all that? The divine. So the divine is the Kundalini energy, as we are coming to know and love it and love ourselves. And that's where we begin the journey. And that's where we continue to begin it every time we tap into it. Because again, even if we think we're having the world's worst meditation practice, what happens is we perceive it that way because so much negativity is coming up that we've absorbed. We don't even know what we're absorbing in our surroundings, in the things we read on the internet. Oh my God, you can get lost on MSN, CNN, and you don't even know if it's real. So you don't know if that is true. The stats are, I've heard people say, oh, 80% of people are dying. And I'm like, that means my whole neighborhood would be pretty much dead. If there's 100 houses, 80 of them would be dead people. Come on, you guys, wake up. Just do the math. It's just, so when you hear these stats, you gotta go, oh my God, am I that dumbed down? I'm gonna align with that kind of thing. So it's not that you will challenge it, but you'll just start to think, okay, there are just too many reality TV shows on, and I'm not really gonna go with that because I don't resonate with that. And it's such a waste of time, really. So unless you're involved in it, on a governmental level or, health or science or whatever, it's pertaining to essential services and it's pretty real for you and you're seeing it, okay, cool. But I know a lot of essential workers and they're kind of just sitting at home, twiddling their thumbs, waiting for the big whatever happening. And they're just like, and when I go to work, well, we just pretty much watch TV or we just hang out and tell people to go home if they have it and just isolate themselves because there is no real cure unless they're really blown out to the very end and then they got to be on a respirator. People who are passing away are those who are really compromised in their immune system and they're not taking care of themselves or not being taken care of. There are people dying because they can't get into hospitals. As I mentioned, last week, I think it was, when my niece's husband died. He passed away. He was waiting for surgery, liver transplant. And he had waited and waited during COVID and he just couldn't wait anymore. He couldn't hang in. So sad as that was, this is what it is. So all the prayers for his soul's evolution perhaps just prepared him to get onto the other side where the physical was just too worn out, even at a young age, 30, 32, 33. So we never know when we're going to be taken out. We never know what is going to be in our lives that is going to, rock our world. So when we are steady and we've got, as Dr. Pillai says, we make the mind the slave, or the servant. We aren't a slave to the mind. I mean, the mindset of the collective consciousness of everyone around us, and then the mindset of ourselves, what we think about all that. And we get caught up in all that TV watching, reality TV show, when really the truth of who we are is so much more powerful. And as we build that light, as we build that momentum, as we radiate that out, as some people have mentioned, last night I said, come on, share your miracles. And people have been, as we've been doing this chanting for a while. And those who have been really committed to it, they have said, oh my God, I got not one job, but 2 jobs. I have all these clients coming to me. My schedule is full next week. And so that inspires everyone else. Or people are just saying, wow, I really see how negative I've been. And I am committing to being really positive because the group energy is really strong. And it's not because we're all like, woohoo, and then the energy drops. It's because it's waking up inside of you and you won't ever go back to your old way of being. It's so deep. It's not a superficial party on dude or dudette. It is deep, deep. So with that week ahead forecast, we've got Saturday is a great day to come together. I haven't completed about what we're going to do for YouTube. Powertime practice is going to go to a new time slot. It's going to be 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. That's 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time on Saturday. We're going to keep it on Saturday to pull in the energy of dumping a lot of karma, because Saturn is the planet who delivers really tough, slow-moving, long, chronic, drawn-out drama, karma, yuck. And so when we come together and we do a spiritual practice, Saturn says, oh, check mark, let's just dump your karma and get on your spiritual path. So everything is timing. That's why we call it power time. We're practicing being in alignment with these divine beings. And then we'll be able to service people from, perhaps more people from the other side of the pond, as we say here. Or if I'm in India, the other side of the pond is here in Canada. So the people from India, maybe Australia, New Zealand, maybe people in Europe, if you're going to get up during that Brahma Muhurta hours, it's inspiring. It's a reason to get up. Like people say, you know, I woke up and to the Shrimbrisi chanting call in the middle of the night where they were, and in the UK, I think it was, and then they were gazing into the ghee lamp, and they just, whoa, just went into a really deep state, a really deep communion, because it's a doorway. Brahma Muhurta is a doorway to where everyone is quiet all around. So the thought forms are less, so nobody's really bugging you. And so all the light is from inside of you, from your spiritual practices, from your commitment. So the divine wakes you up and says, hey, commune with me. And then you just do a mantra practice or meditation or a ghee lamp meditation. And then, whoa, your world is rocked. And not just for those couple of hours, your whole next day that you hit the ground running and you're so energized. And you go, this is miracle consciousness. This is me becoming my highest and best I can be. Not your best version of yourself. Well, kind of it is, but your best divine version of yourself. Because the ego is what edges God out. And it can be, again, it can be, you know, your personality as you've known it in a superficial way until you got on a spiritual path and you started going deep and you went, ooh, there's more to me than meets the eye. You know, besides my academics or my skill set or my no skill set or whatever is going on. So it's deeper, deeper, deeper. And it's revealing, whoa, you can have a big spiritual ego too. So we want to crush all that. We can't kill it because then we'd be dead. And then you have to start all over. So we want to be in 2020 knowing that this is the golden age. We're walking through it right now. So we've got to get the tools to navigate. So we're going to do that right now. And we're going to go into a deep meditative state where we can commune with the gods and goddesses that we talked about. And especially we're going to focus on Lord Muruga, Shanmuga, who has the 6 faces, and imagine those 6 faces or heads being our brain. All the different parts of our brain are going to be lighting up. And again, Lord Muruga gets rid of enemies, competitors, rivals, litigation, bickering and fighting in relationship, in marital relations, or it can be in relationships with work where someone just sticks their heels in and they just won't budge. And it just makes life to be a workaround. So it's okay, you can work around it, but wouldn't it be nice if you could just like take the heels out and say, hey, try this, it's more fun. And then they realize, oh my God, this is fun. I can use all that energy that I just stuck my heels in the ground and not moving and not budging to having all this energy freed up. So your enemies can turn into your friends, your competitors, your rivals can become your friends, and you'll be just like, cool. And who are the the first rivals in our lives are who? Siblings, sibling rivalry, or people who are like our siblings. If you don't have biological siblings or adopted siblings or whatever, you can have people who are have been raised with you, or you were raised around them. They're like your siblings. So the rivalry has already begun. That consciousness is there. And what we want to do is we want to turn it around and become friends. And that's what many people have said as they're coming and studying with Dr. Pillai, that their rivals will become their friends. And just to wrap up this first part, I want to share with you, I had a naughty direct explanation last night. Actually, it was early this morning. I think it was around 1:30 a.m. And it was after the Shrimbrzi chanting. And I was just, in a different state. And I could feel that whole day, yesterday and the day before, that there was this kind of like this pressure in my head. It wasn't like a migraine or a headache, because I haven't had one for ever, like a long time. Being on the spiritual path, you won't get those kinds of headaches, which is awesome. Even if you're stressed out, because that's when I used to get them. But anyways, so there I am. I'm, prepared for the direct explanation. That means my naughty leaf has been identified, which it was when I was in India, and I was going to go have the direct explanation. But because of COVID, I had to change everything. All my plans all turned on a dime. I had to get on a plane and get out of there. So that was the main priority. And then the naughty readers couldn't, go to the office and do the reading. So all this has now they can do it from home. They've got the technology and so on. So there we were on Skype, and the naughty reader was sharing about how it's so important for all of us, not just about me, because the reading is about the person who's having the reading. It was about how humanity is evolving. And to me, it was just brought tears to my internal eyes. Like I was just so grateful to the divine that I'm not going to blink and miss it. Like it resonated so deeply with me that we are all evolving and we all have big things to do. So everybody here, you are doing big things. You just don't think you are, because you're just you and you're just doing your thing. Like me, I'm just doing my thing. And I go out and I go grocery shopping and I talk to the neighbors and I interact and take my dog for a walk and, have my ups and downs, consoling my sister whose daughter's husband passed away, and my niece, and so life is big, life is full, but it doesn't have to stop us. And it's not, the naughty reader said, and I encourage everyone, please consider it, get a naughty reading. Why I'm saying that now is I've had so many naughty readings, but it was very clear why we do the remedies, why we participate in rituals and services, why we fill ourselves up with spiritual knowledge, not intellectual understanding. Oh, that's a cool story. That's a cool myth. Oh, that's a cool Hindu god, or, the Buddha is cool, or Jesus is awesome. It's not about that kind of intelligence. It's about the intel that's inside. It's our innate intelligence that knows how you're breathing. When you don't know, it's making you to come alive. When you feel like completely exhausted, it is making you to be animated. And that's at the level of the soul. So what the naughty reader said is, your father, my father, was going to there's going to be a threat to his life. And I've had Vedic astrologers tell me that, and I've been studying Vedic astrology and Western astrology for many decades. So I was quite aware, okay, this can be happening at this time because of how the planets are aligned and so on. And although I don't have a tremendously beautiful relationship with my father, as a human being, I don't want him to suffer. So the naughty, and I know he is, and so the naughty was confirming that. And I before I could even have the thought to ask, because so you can write your stuff down, it's all recorded, but I wanted to be able to, at the end of the direct explanation, I wanted to be able to say, so what about my dad? What remedies can I do? So the naughty, that was in my head, and I wrote it down, dad remedies. And so the naughty said, but he will come out of it because of the remedies you're doing for you. And boom, that just was like, this is why you don't have to worry about anybody in your life, whether they get on a spiritual path or not, whether they've been the worst human being in your life, where, like my father, was totally abusive in so many ways, scary. And we had a very estranged relationship, trying to come back together. And just, when abuse is there and it's inherited and you can see it coming through the generations, alcohol, physical abuse, mental abuse, all kinds of abuse, and to his own self and to all the kids, my siblings and I. And so it took a while to come out of that and be okay with all that. And he is too. And God bless us all. But when the naughty reader said, because of your commitment to your spiritual path, again, it's our mindset. Why did we choose these situations in life? At the level of the soul. If it's soul's journey and it comes lifetime after lifetime, you chose it so you could figure out a way out of it. And you can't do it because it's a struggle. If you're trying to do it with your own means and only what's here on the earth plane. But then something wakes up, like it did when I met Dr. Pillai. And he just said, keep going back, keep trying to correct it. And then I would tell him, okay, I went back and it was a big drunken blah, 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 and yelling, screaming match. And I just left. And he just said, okay, he's totally unconscious. Keep doing remedies. Here's a chant. Here's a mantra. And now it's being that, wow, he's going to be saved because of the practices that I'm doing. Will he pass away? Perhaps. He's in that age bracket, but the suffering, no person, no human being should suffer on any level, no matter what they've done, because they've inherited and they're ignorant of it, like we all were, groping in the dark and continue to. Can you see everything that's going on? No. And do you need to? You would be overwhelmed. So we just need to know how to navigate. So the naughty was really super fabulous, driving that takeaway that everybody's going to be okay, including I also have a brother who's going through a really, really rough time. And it right away, it said, this brother is going to also benefit from your prayers and your spiritual practices, and go and look into chapter 3, which is the sibling chapter. And I have never looked into that chapter. So this is the time. So having this divine guidance, it makes life to be so much sweeter, even in the circumstances where you think, oh my God, who am I being in all this? I would never be this way, full of joy and full of wonder and full of, the grace and the blessings and the ability to, navigate all of this is one thing, but to really feel the love and feel that divine connection to that other human being, that there was so much friction and so much tragedy and so much pain and suffering, and inherited the sins of the father, the grandfather, the curses that come through is gone. So whatever we're doing right now, and whatever you continue to do in your everyday life, don't make it separate. Make it a part of your blessings to one another. And then you'll be living the truth of who we really are, which is divine beings. We're God consciousness. So we want to bless everyone. It's natural for us. We don't want to think, oh, that guy's a bad dude, because God is allowing for everything. It's all, we cannot know the light without the darkest, yuckiest stuff. To know the fabulous light, we have to have the polar opposites. This is what the third dimensional plane is all about. It's good, bad, right, wrong, left, right, up, down. It's opposite. So we're going to reconcile the pairs of opposites, reconcile the good and the bad, and just take those air quotes out. I never like that. But my hands automatically do it. What can I say? Who's doing that? Puppet master. So with that, it's an invitation. It is not only going to reveal something to you that will help you to navigate, or the people in your life to navigate out of really tough situations where you're like, oh my God, what can I do for those people? You know, it's already done. And they don't even have to suffer. So the remedies are, and the rituals will make your life to be rich. You will feel so blessed, because we're not doing it. It's the energy of these beings who are coming in. The consciousness is changing it. And that's the mystery. That's the mystery of it all. That's the secret of life. That's the truth of who we truly are. So with that, let's have a little experience. We'll get into the ghee lamp gazing meditation if you want to stay for that. We'll open up the chat. We'll have a little discussion for a bit. And then I got to jump off to the mystery school call, which is going to be at the top of the next hour. So we have some time. So let's get into it now, where we're going to close our eyes and we're going to focus our attention internally. And we're going to call on these divine beings to support that runway or that landing strip inside of us called the chakra system. The Kundalini energy is going to get awakened again to a new level of understanding, radiating that energy up and out. So we'll send an SOS up to the divine. The divine will come from the cosmos, send that consciousness to us. We'll do a little human and divine dance and feel the throb of the wisdom of your highest self, communing with the highest beings who will support us today and in the week ahead. So we'll call on Ganesha to remove the obstacles for us to experience the Kundalini moving up the spine. So reddish orangish light, pour it down your legs, into your feet and toes, so you can feel unstuck. And then the energy can shoot up once we get the blessings from Ganesha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Nirvignam Kuru Kuru. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Nirvignam Kuru Kuru. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Nirvignam Kuru Kuru. Now imagine a ray of light shooting up your backbone, piercing all the chakras that are stacked up on top of one another. In your subtle body, the light pierces the top of the skull and goes up, 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 up on its own, as high as it can. You're staying steady. We'll activate the chakras to increase the signal going up, like an SOS searching for divine support, and enlivening the thin tube of light, the Sushumna, the connection to the divine, the Wi-Fi connection. Base of the spine. Move up to the heart center, middle of the chest. Move up to the throat, clear the throat. Ma. Move up to the middle of the brain, third eye. Float back down to the base of the spine. Imagine the chakras radiating out like ripples as you throw a pebble in a pond. It ripples out in all directions. Base of the spine. Na, 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 na. Connect with the earth element. Na, 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 na. Move into the navel chakra, the belly. Fill it with water. Ma, 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 ma. Move up to the heart center, middle of the chest, also down the arms and hands and fingers. Set them on fire. She, 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 she. Move up to the throat, the mouth, the nostrils. Connect with the air element or subtle air, prana. Wa, 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 wa. Now move into the two eyes. Keep the eyeballs steady, still. The right and left brain. Connect with the ether, the akash or space. Ya, 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 ya. Now imagine Dr. Pillai appearing before you in a form you're familiar with or a light. Connect with his eyes and your eyes by beams of light. He's burning the karma in your eyes. The eyes are the windows to the soul. We need to see life from our soul. So the karma in the eyes is blocking. Feel the burning, feel pressure, feel tingling, see light, feel heat or cool. Another beam of light connects your third eye to his third eye. Lock on to those beams of light. Om Dram Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha. Om Dram Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha. Om Dram Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha. Now Vishwamitra, the emperor who turned into an incredible being beyond so many of the siddhas, beyond even the gods, he brought in the sound Brazi. so that Dr. Pillai could give it to us and birth that consciousness into us. He appears next to Dr. Pillai, sends 2 rays of light, piercing your eyeballs, filling them up with Brizzy consciousness. Prosperity consciousness, abundance. Feel it in your eyes. Your whole head lights up, your whole body lights up. Another ray enters your third eye. Your eyes in your third eye are locked on to Vishwamitra's eyes and third eye. Om Vishwamitraya Namaha. Om Vishwamitraya Namaha. Om Vishwamitraya Namaha. Now imagine your backbone again with the veil of Lord Muruga, the lance, the spear. The shaft of the lance is your backbone. The head of the lance or spear or veil is your brain. The tip pierces the top of the skull and shoots light up into the space, looking for the consciousness of Lord Muruga to come and wipe out enemies, diseases, debts, litigation, suffering, bad relationships, bad health. He will wipe it out, enliven you, give you courage, give you strength, and do the miracles for you. So feel the third eye throbbing, pulsing. Fire up the veil inside of you as your backbone and brain. Aum, Aum. Sound. Saravana Bhavaya Namaha. Om Saum 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 Saravana Bhavaya Namaha. Feel the backbone with the image of the veil in your brain as well. It has the energy, the intelligence of millions of suns, light, power to diffuse all kinds of negativity. Inside, outside, radiating beyond the body, burning karma, diffusing the limited ego consciousness, unsticking you from sticky Maya. Now put your attention in your third eye and imagine the veil getting smaller and smaller, and it goes into a flame in your third eye. Imagine Lord Muruga's feet on your head. He's standing above you and he touches your skull, and his feet, his translucent feet, are touching your brain, absorbing all the negative thought patterns, the neurons that are stuck in a rut, taking it all away. That negative congested energy is moving up into his feet and being burned in his spiritual inferno body. And what gets enlivened are all the neurons firing for prosperity consciousness, courage, bravery, the ability to know everything and do everything. The third eye is opening. Now repeat his sounds, the names of Muruga, Murugan, Kumaran, Guhan. And say them out loud so you hear your own voice vibrating in the feet of Lord Muruga in your brain. Let's begin. Murugan, Kumaran, Guhan. Feel his feet in your brain. Murugan, Kumaran, Guhan. Murugan, Kumaran, Guhan. Murugan, Kumaran, Guhan. Your brain is throbbing with light. Murugan, Kumaran, Guhan. The third eye is pulsing, it's breathing in and out, the spiritual, subtle force. Murugan, Kumaran, Guhan. The whole brain is throbbing. Murugan, Kumaran, Guhan. Murugan, Kumaran, Guhan. Murugan, Kumaran, Guhan. Now, move into the heart center. Your tensional energy floats down into your heart. And imagine the goddess Shrimbrazi in your heart center as a dazzling gold, silver, light, pink and purple, dancing in your heart. You may see her image if you're familiar with it. For now, just put your attentional energy in your heart. Feel where it's constricted or feels like poison is coming up. Brazi will diffuse all that. Shreem will give you the direction, the way out. Radiate the light, expand it beyond the heart center. Radiate it out in all directions, beyond your body. Shreem Brazi, Shreem Brazi, Shreem Brazi. Now imagine Varahi, the goddess of 2020, the Lakshmi or Srimrati of 2020 and beyond, the golden age. Goddess is in your heart with the boar head and the tusks rooting out scarcity consciousness, poverty consciousness, and fulfilling your heart's desires. Feel that fulfillment, that energy of success, joy, happiness, money, all the comforts. Om Shreem Razi Shri Swarnavarahi Devyai Namaha. Om Shreem Razi Shri Swarnavarahi Devyai Namaha. Om Shreem Razi Shri Swarnavarahi Devyai Namaha. Now, you can slowly open your eyes. We'll set up the ghee lamp. You can be gazing into the ghee lamp in this state of meditation where you're focusing on the third eye as you're gazing into the ghee lamp, the flame, and allowing the goddess to get into you, the god to get into you. And then we'll see you in about 9 minutes. I'm going to adjust the camera so you'll just see the flame and the ghee lamp. The lights are going to go down. If a mantra comes, allow it. If a message comes, allow it. If a vision comes, allow it. Don't try to figure it out. Just allow, receive. And just slowly, slowly let go of the gazing. And as you're letting go, make your prayer to Dr. Pillai for blessing your soul to come and receive the teachings for today, even though there was information shared at the level of the soul. He has to bring you to commune with all the people here, everyone's souls. That's why we go to a spiritual master. He's not really concerned about our outer appearance or meeting with us and speaking to us or calling us. He wants our souls to evolve. And this is the teaching today. So whatever it was for you, take note of it. Inside of you, pray for whatever it is that you want help with. And then pray for those who need it the most: food, clothing, shelter, medicine, pure water. Unconditional love is the birthright of every human being, including yourself. So God bless all those who need it the most, for the divine to intervene and do the miracle. The lights are coming on. As you slowly, slowly come back, moving the camera. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. If you need to go, have an amazing rest of your day or evening. And we'll see you tonight for one of the final daily or nightly Shrimrazi chant sessions, where the energy is just going to be out of this world. So, because we've been building it and building it and building it, and people feel it, and you can see it in the chat. The shared experiences are amazing. So please join. Only 2 days left, and hope to see you there. And then the people who are going to stay on, I'm just going to take a look at the chat and see if you have any comments or shared experiences. So I'll start from the bottom. Lots of gratitude. Michaeline is saying, beautiful. I did see the head and the neck of a peacock. And so that it could represent that you are connecting with omniscience, omnipotence, omnipresence, miracle consciousness. So we're tapping into that, and the symbols are the spoken word of the divine. So the divine works in symbols or pictures or images, or the yantras, the statues. So the yantra is like on the bookshelf behind. That's a yantra for Varahi, and it's sacred geometry. So it's a landing pad for the divine to just radiate out all that energy into the space. So it has to have somewhere to land. And when we're in alignment with that energy, it's coming to us. Otherwise, it's bouncing off. There's nothing really like a Wi-Fi. It's just not going to bounce. You're not going to get a clear connection. So that's fabulous. And that's a sign Muruga's energy is already here before his birthday. Kairam is saying, my first Saturday Powertime practice session. Yay, welcome. I hope it was a good one. Veronica Lake is saying, these Powertime practices are very valuable teachings and meditations. Kindly click the like button. Oh, I see. Okay, thank you. I'm new to YouTube channels and things like that. So I'm glad I have everyone here to help me navigate social media. Salvarasan is saying, because of our positive karma, we are here to remove negative karma with Shrimrazi. Well said. Because we're all trying to figure a way out. and we can't do it on our own. That's why we're banging our head against the wall and it hurts, and we have to stop. And we don't want to just stop to make it stop hurting. We want to get rid of the karma that makes us to go do that. So when we come on a Saturday, regardless of what day it is for you, even if you're listening to the recording on a Monday, this vortex of energy is open up. And energy is just energy. And we can capture it with this recording. So it's there. The space has been created. And then you can review it. Or if you weren't here live, you can definitely watch. And you'll be in it. And you'll, whoa, this is awesome. Because it's all Dr. Pillai's grace and blessings. Otherwise, why would we come together? I don't know you. I mean, I'm getting to know lots of you over the years, but you don't know me. I don't know anybody. And we're just committed. We're committed to raising the vibration inside of ourselves. So there's more vitality, more energy, more positivity, regardless of what age and stage we are. I was running around chasing my dog. It had got away. I was trying to get a bee out of the house, and the door opened, the dog, and she's a puppy. So of course she's just going to go shooting across the road, and the car comes. I'm like, oh man, I'm so irresponsible. Man, I'm so slow at my age. And then I pursued after the dog, and the neighbor came and helped me, but it was a bit of a comical scene. And I was like, I'm too old for this. But then I was like, wow, I'm pretty agile. Like, look at me go. So it doesn't matter what age and stage you are. When you're on this path, you just, all of a sudden you have this on-demand ability to go and do whatever it is that you need to do fast. And you have the power and the energy to scoot after that little sweet pet of mine. And she was just like, she's quite divine. As all our pets are. They teach us so much, right? Unconditional love. Whoa, biggie. All right. So somebody was saying where we meditate. Did you meditate? Did you stay? Good. Got hashtag stream is the economy going on. That's great. Oh, who's 5 a.m.? So Katya is saying the new time will be 5 a.m. for me. That's great. So the new time slot for this Powertime practice, YouTube, is going to be Saturdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, or 7 p.m. Pacific Time. And then whatever time that is for you in the world, please convert it. We'll give you the UTC time, and I believe India Standard Time is what we usually give out. And then if you haven't signed up for the newsletters, for Powertime Practice newsletters, please do that, because we will, Radha and Yajna have been with me they're my angels and angel goddesses, and they've been with me for all this time, serving everyone, and they are helping everyone here in Powertime Practice to capture everything that we've spoken about, so that you don't have to grow up and where's that link, and it's all in one weekly newsletter, and then you'll just, oh, here it is. This is the link to the Muruga birthday celebration. So even if you think, oh, I can't fit it into my budget, that's fine. Go and read about it. Read what the offerings are. And as I mentioned, the remedies can be just, God knows what you can and cannot afford to do. But if you just say, oh, well, it's not going to apply to me, but there's knowledge there, there's wisdom there, there's an eye opener for you about what this can do, so that if money came out of nowhere and there was time to jump in, you would jump in. Because who is saying it to you? It's your inner knowing. And it's coming out as, hey, this is a power time. Don't miss it. It will empower you. And as I mentioned, whatever we do, everyone in our life benefits. And in fact, that's what people say. I got on this spiritual path, and how come everybody in my life is benefiting and I'm not? You are, because they're all benefiting. And once that gets all sorted out, then you will get all the blessings for all the good karma. So we're kind of funny, aren't we? Oh, Pillai Center Practice is here saying Wealth Activation Workshop tomorrow, May 31st with Dr. Pillai. It's free. Yes, of course. And this has been going on for 4 days since last Sunday. And then I believe it was Tuesday or Wednesday and then Thursday or Friday, one of the days of the week. And Gina Lexmi was hosting it. And maybe there were other teachers. I can't keep up with everything. There's so much going on, right? So that's the beauty of coming to Powertime Practice. We will just focus and see what those really powerful times are, and then help people to decide to go over to the Wealth Activation Workshop, where Dr. Pillai is giving free. Did I say free? It's free. So whenever he does something free, he has such compassion for people who aren't going to be able to go into courses or buy services or whatever. He's there. So please join, and then you will get hot off the press, divine Wi-Fi connection, immediate attention and help, and you'll feel the burn. You'll feel the karma burning, because in his presence, that's what his job is to burn people's karma. So it changes their destiny. If they were destined to suffer in any area of life or all areas of life, he is there. The radiations are coming through him, and that gets transmitted out. And then the person's life changes because the consciousness changes. And that all can be measured. We have the technology and it gets measured and so on. So if you say, how does that happen? That's how. Spiritual transmission of light, the highest intelligence, and you can see it on fMRIs. We hook the brain up and so on. If there are any pending questions or comments, JRR is saying, nowadays I'm unhappy. I want to be happy and have name and fame. How can I achieve it? Shreem Brazil. And then participate as much as you can. As I mentioned, a remedy can be that you're just showing up and you are participating in a community that is committed to uplifting humanity. So whenever you want something in your life, like upliftment, happiness, go participate in something that makes a lot of people happy. And guess how you'll feel? Happy for no reason. So, and also, this is maybe because it's Muruga's birthday, we can give you this image. This is the veil or whale in Tamil. And this is what we imagined our backbone and our brain to look like. So we put this image as our backbone. All the chakras are lined up, pushing the Kundalini energy up, enlivening the midbrain, enlivening the third eye. And then when you take this image and you pour water, milk, or juice on it, and that's going to do that every day, and your happiness will start to come, because there's just negative congested energy and it's making you to not feel so great. But then again, if you need some counseling, please go get that help that you need. And then you can take a surrogate technology like a lemon, like a lime, and you can take the veil and just pierce the skin and shove it right in. It's a little drippy with the juice. And then you just can put it on your desk or your altar. And then you seeing that will tell your subconscious mind that your karma is destroyed. So whatever is making you unhappy internally, and then that's manifesting as stuff that you see or situations that you're in, you just have this image, and it is like when you have a headache, you take a Tylenol. You don't know what it's doing. You just know it's going to take the pain away. This is spiritual technology that takes the pain away. It takes karma away. So karma is your mindset. If you're in an unhappy mindset, pierce it. And then if you don't have a veil, you can just simply take a lime or a lemon, roll it around your head, your eyes, your ears, your nostrils, your throat, cut it. Especially cut lots of them until you feel better. Get a bag of them. And then do it especially on the 13th moon that's coming up, with that Pradosham day. And then the 14th moon is a Ganesha day. Get a coconut. It represents the two eyes and the third eye. The hard shell is like your noggin. It's your skull. Inside is the meat and the juice, like your brain and the cerebrospinal fluid that bathes the brain and the spinal cord. Takes away all that toxic energy and then nourishes the brain and the nervous system. So this, you can also use a surrogate technology. You roll it around your head and everything, your body, especially on your throat. That's where the karma comes up. And then you can't get into the third eye because it's so congested here. And it makes sense because all the weight of the world is on your shoulders. Once the karma is gone, you just feel like you can sit up straight. And then you're aligned with the divine. Not like sitting militant, but you're just relaxed and you're upright and your spine is erect. Your chakras are lined up. You have this energy. So once you absorb the negativity, either in the coconut or the lemons or limes, smash the coconut, throw it out in the, if you can do it in your backyard, you can throw it and the animals will go and eat it, then clean up the shells later. Or put it in your organic waste, throw it in the garbage. This is way better than being unhappy. And then you can cut the lemon or the lime too and throw it away. You don't want to use them. So keep trying, keep doing that. So what kind of multiple streams of income can I think about even if I have no skills? Shreem Brzee makes it possible. Absolutely. Shreem Brzee is awesome. I've had so many opportunities open up since chanting this, the daily practice with everybody here. Awesome. The more people you have, then that energy gets in you. So even though if you're having the world's worst day or the meditation, you're in the space of it. The vortex is open up, you're at the party. So it's coming in, even though you might not be having a good time, you're having you have access to all that intelligence. It's getting into you. And then when you start to feel better and you go back into your life, it's like, whoa, where did all that energy come from? Because it came together. You can't do it on your own. Well, you can, but it's not as fast because it's intense. If you go and party in a room by yourself, well, that's a party. But then if you have like hundreds of people or thousands of people, that's a party. Lots of energy. And lots of inspiration. So it's not just party on like unconsciously. It's like so much inspiration. The Holy Spirit of Shreem Brzee is moving through you. That's what Christ said. He's going to get rid of the physical body and let this Holy Spirit come through. So the Holy Spirit is the gods, the goddesses, and so on. Okay. Matali is saying, I had my naughty on the 15th this month. They told me even my deepest desires and dream. Awesome. Please do your remedies, Matali. So people get the naughty and then they say, my life hasn't changed. And I said, do you do the remedies? Well, no. Do I have to? Read. Yes. And you could have done it. You get a better price point when you do the package for the remedies. So there are temple remedies. And then they will energize a Raksha plate, which is a protective, like a talisman. And this is an example of one that it's like about this size, only it's more malleable. And it's got the deity inscribed or the god or the goddess who is going to support you during that time period where it's going to be a little rough. And then you can roll it up and put it in this silver amulet, or you can get a gold one. But I go through so many, not so many naughties, but regular naughties. So, the silver one is fine. Okay, so it looks like I've responded to everything. Thank you so much for helping people out. Those people who have been writing some instructions for other people or guidance. Melissa saying, Sucharita, thank you. I feel my brain expanded. Hardly the word to describe the experience. Lord Muruga, translucent feet. Oh my God. Yeah. So how was Muruga? Whew, pretty powerful, right? So all these meditation practices are because they come from the divine. They are the divine. And we're able to merge with them. You know, we've seen movies where I forget what they're called. Ghost was one of them, I think, where, you know, the hand is trying to touch the human hand, the spirit of the wife or the husband who has passed. I can't remember it exactly, but I just remember they're trying to touch, they're trying to, you know, feel one another. So that's how it is in the spiritual world. You don't have the physical form anymore, but you still have those, it's kind of beyond your senses. It's in your sixth, seventh, eighth sense. God knows even what dimension. You are communing with these divine beings, but you can feel it. So that's where Dr. Pillai cranks up the mantras that you've heard maybe on the internet. And then when he's here in the space, my mouth is just moving. It's really his energy, his guidance, his teaching at the level of my soul that's coming up, because I have no idea. Even though I've been around him for, 25 years, every moment, every meditation is so pure, so rich. I want to be out of the way. And that's what I recommend for everyone. Be in, the now is like the be in the now, manifest in the now. That's what it is be present to what your soul's doing now. Beyond whether you're tired or not tired or whatever, confused or not, or just thinking you had the world's worst meditation, boom, something will happen. So that's great. Melissa. And then Faraz is saying, very powerful meditation and visualization for Muruga's feet on our heads. That's what he wants to be, is there, because they absorb. They walk in these realms, these lokas, they call it, like heavenly abodes. So they're absorbing all that energy into the feet, just like we walk around and whatever we're walking on, we absorb it. So having that on our heads is going to transform our brains. Aruna is saying, if we want to write the Shrim Razi, how many times per day and how many days? Keep doing it. I've probably written it a few million times, I would say, because there were times where we did, Dr. Pillai would say, okay, write it 108 times a day. Okay, write it 1,008 times a day. Okay, write it 3 times 1,008 times a day. Okay, write it 10,008 times a day. Okay, write it 1,000,000 times. Okay, write it 2,000,000 times. So over the years, he's been doing that. And as we do it, you get a big stack of papers. And you can burn them or you can keep them. I remember keeping a couple of boxes of them, and I was like so proud of them. Oh my God. And then I moved and went, okay, these are going now. So, but you can feel the energy because it's when you write, it's your hand telling your brain, this is what I want to experience. And you sometimes, and we know this, when we're writing the mantra is the God or the goddess. And we're writing is like, whoa, where do we go? And the pen is scribbling off the page. We totally gapped out. So we've been, as Dr. Pillai says, we've been abducted by the divine. So they've come and not just touched our hands, they absorbed our whole being to clean us up. Well, we were just thinking we're writing. So they have to give us a head fake. We have to do something so they can get in, and we're distracted. So we don't try to kind of stop it and figure it out. Boom, we're gone somewhere. Because Alma is saying, I feel very irritable. Is this part of the process? Yeah, we shared about that. So whatever comes up, even if it's your world's worst meditation, meaning that, oh my God, thoughts are there, yucky memories, the feeling is there, I'm so irritated. It's because that is coming up from your baby toe, maybe, that you are walking around with, and it hurts, especially when you stub your toe. So whatever is no longer serving you, it will rise up as the Kundalini rises up, and it will show you. And then it's like a kickback energy. It thinks that you're not going to, feel better. It doesn't want to leave because it's been with you for so long. These mindsets, these patterns of behavior, thinking, and like Melissa was saying and Faraz was saying, beautiful experience. My head expanded, my brain expanded, meaning that consciousness could get in. Did their brain actually grow physically? I don't think so. If it did, please send me pictures. That would be something to see. But anyways, you get what I mean, is that the consciousness is making you to go beyond the limits. You have to have an experience. You can't just hope the negativity or the irritability leaves you, quietly. It's not going to. It has never been quiet. Irritability is not a quiet thing. So it's going to be loud and it's going to be yucky. But just know that you're in this space, and this space will diffuse it. So just like we take our garbage out to the curb, you can do whatever you want, but I would say don't sort through it. Just take it there and let the garbage guys take it away. So be kind to yourself, Kazam, or anyone else. Go out in nature, walk, keep chanting your mantras, because that's going to help to keep the vibration up, so that stuff doesn't come and kick you back. It'll just be like a bug, and just because you have so much light and energy because of your practice and being immersed in it, it will just bounce off you, or like a bug light, gone. Nalini is saying, hello again, Sucharita, joined a bit late, saw a young bearded Hindu priest preaching. Then a picture of a god with a mustache appeared at the end of the ghee lamp meditation. Awesome. And so that's true. The siddhas will come through the ghee lamp and they will speak to you, and you will just like, what is this, a gnome? And then you'll see an image, whoa, or you'll get a message, or you'll go to the internet and you'll read something and you're like, wow, why am I reading this? How did I get here? This is the perfect thing. So these beings will come through the portal of the ghee lamp, and it will reveal to you something, and maybe you won't understand it now, but as your day rolls out or the week rolls out or sometime down the road, you go, oh, wow, that's what I saw. Veronica Lake says, last night at the fire lab, Babaji appeared, graced us with his presence, and blessed us. He put flowers in the fire. I feel so lucky. It was so special, since that is the last fire lab for Shri Mbrazi Collective. I heard about that, Veronica. It was so awesome. I was like, yay! So that's what I mean, is that you think, oh, Dr. Pillai is not going to attend any of those calls. He will show up out of nowhere and right at the perfect time to give the blessing. So please, if you're in Shri Mbrazi Collective, or even if you were just part of the public Shri Mbrazi chanting sessions on Friday, you got to access to it. So the recording is there, and go get the blessing. The vortex is open and the blessing is there. So go experience it. Melanie is saying, thank you, Sucharita. What an experience. Muruga's energy on my feet. Oh my God, no words to describe it. I saw a galloping horse in the flame and a peacock around the flame. Amazing, amazing. Hey, great. Nalini is saying, thanks, Sucharita. Can't get enough of the spiritual energy emitted during these practices. It's too amazing to be expressed into words. The Shri Mbrazi practices, yeah. It is. You immerse yourself and you just go, whoa. I would never be able to chant on my own, because first of all, I kind of pass out. I fall asleep. I don't have anything to organize me or focus me. So when we're in the meditation together, that happens to some people, but then they have all the energy and the support of everyone else, such that when you come back, you're like, whoa, I really feel grounded again. You're not kind of groping in the dark. What just happened to me? So we have this community who says, okay, now it's time to come back, be aware of what happened. So don't just do your spiritual practice and run off in your life. Be that and carry that with you. And it's a no kidding. It did happen to you. So again, take care of yourself, drinking water and so on, as we mentioned. Alice is saying, thanks so much, Sucharita. I forgot the Powertime practice today was debuting on YouTube. See you tonight at Streambreezy Chanting. Yeah, that is. So this is our final 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. And then whatever it is for the rest of the world, that's your timing. And this is it for that time slot. We're going to be using this time slot, not this link, but we're going to be using this time slot for the Reboot Mystery School 2019, which you still can sign up for. And we've been growing in the past week. Like, people are like, I want to know about these blessings coming from these gods, these divine beings. And it's at such a beautiful price point. Why wouldn't you want to? Is, unless you can't fit it into your budget. But this is where you are going to go into that spiritual realm, and you're going to feel the mystery school take your life and unfold it in a beautiful way. In fact, that's what I said to Radha Peru, who's the director of mystery schools. She had said to me, how was mystery school for you last year? And I said, I had a vision board and I had pretty big ticket items on there. And I know all the chanting that I was doing, Streambreezy, everything else, but it was a mystery. It was a mystery to me. And I know that the mystery school did it for me. Big, big things for me. So it will do it. That's why he calls it the mystery school. And this is miracle, science of miracles. So I'm very excited to be a part of that. And that bell is saying, hey, get on over to the other call now. So we will see you. We're going to launch Radha Peru, Swamini Bali, and I will be on the call. We'll be the teachers for that program. Well, mostly I will be rolling it out. They're going to really help support and be there for everybody as well. And together, we're all going to really create a beautiful space for you and support you. So that's going to be happening on Monday. You'll get an email from the team. And then we will have our first call next Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And you'll have all that information. You'll have access. I think you do have access right now. So go take a look. Jump in there and see what's going on in that course in Pillai Center Academy. And then those of you who still want to join. Please come. It's awesome. And so we've been through it for the year, and we're so excited because the more you dive into these gods and goddesses, and Agastya, he's the master siddha of all the siddhas. So we're getting the light body teachings. What? It's so awesome. And that's miracle consciousness. So nothing can harm you. Everything is good. So why wouldn't we want to experience that? Get out of the old mindset. Push yourself to do something good for yourself. We spend so much on Starbucks and shoes that we don't need, or stuff we don't need. And we see, oh my God, after a while, you'll just go, whoa, I just waste time, money, and energy. So that's a beautiful course to jump into as well. We're having the wealth activation course coming up probably after the workshop. I'm not really sure about those details. But when it does happen, everybody is going to be running for that. And we're very excited. So last 2 days, tonight of chanting, tomorrow night of chanting. And thank you so much for joining Powertime Practice. And we will see you tonight and see you next week, 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time on Saturday. Namaste.